Hello everybody, this is a recorded apology and end of live stream number 2. So those of you watching yesterday will know that after about 22 minutes the live stream buffered itself out. For your amusement, I did not know that. I chatted to myself quite merrily for a good 15 to 20 minutes further before I noticed nobody was commenting and chatting, because I got a list of questions already. So it was amazing. I enjoyed it. Basically the broadband is insufficiently robust where I am just at the moment. I've got 2 ways around that. Getting a change of provider is going to happen, and B, doing live streams when I'm not at home is probably the way forward as well. So by way of completion, obviously I can't repeat, it's not a recording, but I can get back. I just wanted to round off a few things and share a couple of the items that I thought I'd shared with you yesterday. So bear with me. As the whole thing buffered out, somebody had asked me the question, is changing the transmission oil a job for the home mechanic on their 80,000 mile old XK8? And yes is a simple answer, was where I was going. The caveat to that is it's a lot easier if you have a lift. If you've not got a lift, then you will need to jack the car up on a nice level surface, all 4 wheels, axle stands, and give yourself enough clearance to get underneath there and work. And that's because you're going to be filling up the pan and you need the car reasonably level, and you're going to be dropping out the oil, and you obviously need enough clearance for that. And that's not always easy if you're working on your driveway. The second caveat is, yes, it's technically easy to do. There are instructions online, there are instructions in the technical bulletins, etc., etc. And you're just going to be dropping off your pan after you've drained things, and then you change the pan so that it changes the filter. But the whole thing is held on with a series of Torx bolts. And the earlier cars particularly have an unusual size torque bolt, which means you might use the wrong Torx. I think it's 27. That's a memory thing, so don't hold me to that one. And they are probably a little bit too skinny. So later cars have a more chunky Torx bolt. So it is possible that you can shear those off and end up drilling and extracting the threads. That's the biggest issue. Impact driver tends to be the thing to rattle those Torx bolts out. Okay. On the first live stream I did, I thought I'd given some more information, but the same technical issues obviously mean that didn't happen. So huge apologies to Michael, and I'm going to murder your surname, Michael. Very sorry. Michael Spraga, S-B-R-A-G-A. The rest of you can judge me on that. But I'm hoping I'm close there, Michael. And Michael's given us a bit of information to help our friends who watch in the States. So I've done a series of videos on the Strongman Lift, and quite a few of you got quite excited about it. There's a number of subscribers out there who've joined me in owning one. It's a great lift. Not a sponsored thing again, it's just what I bought. And it's a scissor lift, platform style, with a completely open centre that gives you about a 1 metre rise. And you don't need to have an air compressor on it, it's just electric, and it works with domestic supply. So lots of good stuff about it. One of the negatives about it is you cannot get it in the States. People have approached Strongman and asked them if they'll ship it out there, and it's just not on. It's too much of a heavy item for their margins. And in the UK, it's kind of listed at about £1,500 for the Montford. By the time you've added a bit of transport, tax, and some oil in the UK, it's a £2,000 item. Well, Michael has found the doppelganger of this lift in the States. At first glance, I thought it was the same thing painted blue. It isn't. There are detail differences, but the spec is more or less identical, and the price point is about the same. So if you're in the States, you might want to check this out. It's the Stratus Auto Equipment MS 8000E commercial grade. That's about the same price, same function, same specs, same dimensions, give or take the odd centimetre. So a very similar item that's available in the States, and I believe Michael is actually taking delivery of one of those on Saturday, so we should be able to get some proper running reports off him real soon. Thank you very much, and apologies for thinking I'd shared that with everybody last time. We've got a couple of questions that came in through comments and emails recently that I thought I would share with you, see if we can get some extra help from you guys. One of them was from Richard Watkins. Hi, Richard. And his was about his XK8 runs and starts and has no issues, but often the dashboard lights do not illuminate. That includes back lighting and ignition lights, you know, the full range of issues. Everything to do with the lighting seems to be quite screwy. Also, now and again, his rev counter will stop at 600 and just pause there, even though the engine is clearly not doing that RPM. What is going wrong? Can we help? So I've already given my suggestion, and that is A, that the connectors into the back of the instrument panel are dicey, or that B, something electronic and beyond me has gone down inside the actual instrument panel itself. I don't think it's anything outside of that, because too many different random things going on. If we assume that the rev counter, lack of an ignition light and back illumination are all connected, then I can't see how it's beyond the connector into that or the unit itself. So that's been my recommendation, is check the connector. If not, you might need to buy a second-hand instrument panel. But I've never experienced that. I'm interested to know, have any of you had similar? If so, what sort of tips can we give to Richard that means that he can solve this problem quite quickly? So thanks for that one, guys. We had a question from Sydney Earl, who had sent us in a really nice message saying that his dad was actually getting an XK8, and they're on the cusp of owning that vehicle at the moment, and that they believe it is a car with every box ticked in terms of options. Can we do some sort of video or feature that shares what is the absolutely fully spec'd XK8? So I have a fair number of brochures and leaflets and marketing material, which means I could put together a checklist of this is the fully spec'd XK8, and we're talking an earlier car, so I don't know the year that the guys are buying, but I'm going to suggest we do this for a 98, 99 car, as that's the bulk of vehicles out there. Has anybody got any more information? Has anybody got a full checklist? I know that Jag will do bend over backwards stuff that maybe is off menu. Anybody got anything that can help out with that discussion? Could be quite interesting. What is a fully spec'd XK8? We had a great message off Papa Keys. Hi Papa, I know you were on the live stream. We talked about you. Well, I did, but nobody heard. So Papa's another regular subscriber, regular contributor to the sessions with his comments and contributions. And he's basically got his own recommissioning routine. That means when the car's not on the road for up to 6 months of the year, brings it back to life. He goes through a whole series of recommissioning routines. Things like pulling the fuse for the injectors so that it can pump everything through, get oil pressure up before it starts for that first time. And his question was, what do other people have? Do they put their cars into hibernation? Do they have a regime they go through to bring them back most safely and make sure that they look after the vehicle? Really interesting question. It's not something I do because my cars are insured and taxed year round. But yeah, if you're somebody who lays up their car for a few months at a time, 6 months at a time or more, then what do you do? Really interesting question. Love to know. In the live chat, we had some good questions coming in, one of which I'll share, which was from Glyn Holman. I could remember, forget you, Glyn. Glyn's one of, again, regular subscribers. Well, he's a good friend, actually. And he asked a really good question, which was, if we had just £2,000 to spend on toys, we guess, what would I go for? And, that's opened out to the rest of you as well. Well, I kind of got two flavours of answer that I shared to myself, as it turned out. One is, slightly sensibly, I am looking around for an X308. So that's a XJV8 of the same era as our XK8s, XKRs, for those of you who don't know. My good friend Gareth, who's also out there, he's got one. He's gone ahead and bought himself a really nice example, and I'm feeling a bit of envy. So I want to get one of those. £2,000 is probably pushing the envelope a little low. If I had £2,000, I should put it towards one of those. But if I was just getting excited and I'd already got the X308 and somebody gave me £2,000 to go spend in Auto Trader, what would I do? And I've got two possible answers. It would just rely on which I saw first that really lit my candle. A, I would like a mini truck, by which I mean Honda Acti, Daihatsu Hijet, Suzuki Super Carry, blah, 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 blah. All those. I really like them. It's a silly thing because they're not desperately safe. They're not very good pickups, etc., etc., etc. They just amuse me. I'd like to work on one because I've never worked on one. I like the fact that it's such a small vehicle with the mid-engine. And I also like the fact that if you get the flatbed or pickup of any of them, or the van for that matter, now I think about it, you can put as big an engine as you like in that because it's mid-engine and it's under the cargo floor. So as long as you enlarge the hole, you can have it sticking out. So I just think they're amusing. And as a build it from scratch and kit car guy in my youth, I feel I've not done that yet. So one of those. And it's also maybe the nature of you see the odd one or two around where I am. Another stupid idea. I want a tuk-tuk. So if you don't know, that's a three-wheeled, generally taxi. India has millions of the things, generally made by people like Piaggio. Little scooter-powered, three-wheeled buzz/taxi. They just amuse me endlessly. Plus, there was one in the James Bond movie that did wheelies and things, so I want one of them. So, good question. Thanks, Glyn. We should all encourage Glyn to get his own channel, by the way. He's a very funny guy. And his YouTube channel will be brilliant when he gets it done. So, next one on the list is a question from me. OBD2. I have the cheap and cheerful OBD2 reader, which you guys will have seen me use many times in the videos. I also have a Bluetooth transmitter, and I have an app on my tablet that I use quite regularly and really enjoy, and it's called Torque, Torque, which is able to do the fault codes, generic fault codes on the car, plus a lot of nice performance readouts. And I'm going to do a video on that one quite shortly. But what I'm interested in is, has anybody out there got a good recommendation for a really decent OBD2 system that will read the majority of the Jaguar specific stuff? Our cars do not play well with the commercially available OBD2 stuff. You can get all of the generic stuff that says coil pack has gone down on bank 2, exhaust oxygen sensor, blah, 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 blah. But there are thousands of codes that it can't read because Jaguar has protected that sort of stuff so well, so that only a main dealer with their very expensive kit can read all of the codes. What's the experience out there? I don't want to spend thousands. I'm not able to, but I might stretch to a couple of hundreds. What's out there that can be got, which is a really good system? That's a question from me to you. Okay, there was much other good stuff. I told many great jokes. You were in stitches. But what I'll do for now is round this one off with another little declaration of intent. So I've been sent loads and loads of photos of you guys with your cars, subscribers' cars pictures. Some of them are technically brilliant. I mean, frameable. Really, really nice. This was actually spurred by, I think it was a photograph sent in by James Shotton. Thank you very much, James. And yes, I may need help with the mail system at some point in the future. James sent in a picture that was really, really smart and made me think, we're missing a trick here. We should have ourselves a photo competition. So, I've not fully worked the details out. I will put them in another video shortly, but nothing stopping you guys getting going if you want. Here's the essence. I'd like you to send in a single photograph. Anybody who sends in more than one, no, I can't even look at it. Not going to look. So email into john@tothegarage.co.uk with the subject heading picture competition. And we're going to look at obviously a nice car we like, but a nice picture or a nice background, great location. And I say a nice car, the car could be covered in dents and on fire if it's a great photograph. So what I want to do is have a competition to see if we can pull together the best few XK8, XKR photographs. And I know that sort of eliminates some of you guys who are with the channel because you're a fan of the T4, the T2. We've got an awful lot of X308 XJ owners. We've got S-type owners, all that sort of good stuff. Certainly not belittling that, and I want to do something separate for you guys quite soon. But the reason for taking it down to let's go XK8 and XKR is at the end of the competition there will be a winner and there will be maybe 11 runners up. Let's put together our own little calendar of the best 12 photographs of XK8s, XKRs. We can make that a prize. So the 12 people whose photographs are chosen to go into the calendar will get a free calendar, and we can put one on the site so anybody else who's interested can get one. And it might be a really good fun thing, because once I've got a collection of photographs, I'll maybe whittle it down just a little bit and then find a way of getting you, the subscribers, to vote on what's your favourites. Yes, we might take that down then to the top 20, and I might rationalise the winners just so it fits with a calendar. But yeah, it could be quite fun, could be quite interesting, and you're already sending these fabulous photos in. Caveat, if it's not coming in under the heading picture competition and it's not a single photo, I'm not looking. So if you sent something in the past, it doesn't count. Send in one photo per person with the title picture competition. In the email, please put your name, the car's name, should it have one, model and year, and if the location is relevant, interesting, then please obviously tell us where it is, something like that. But yeah, could be quite cool, and obviously the better the quality, the better. But I'm not scientific on this. Pretty pictures can win. Right, so I'm going to wrap that up there. Huge apologies for the issues that are caused by these technical glitches. I haven't got a lot of way around it. It's where I live mainly. but I'm gonna find ways to improve things. Right, I'm off out now. I'm in my dirties, and I'm gonna go and put my new alloy wheels from a 90s Audi A6 Quattro onto Betsy, the T4 camper. So I've got the camera charged. See you later, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe, check out the website, buy a sticker, and by buying a sticker you also enter a email list that I'm building up, that I'm going to use for some future transmissions of information. It won't be anything secret. It's not a case of buy a sticker or I'm not telling you. It just means that I can get to certain people a lot easier. More on that soon.